We're here with Mike Severo, PT, and Mike has been using pulleys for, Mike, how long have you been using pulleys for?
Wow. Learned it at BU for the first time, so I would say as far back as 1995.
Wow.
Yeah.
So quite a bit of time. So he is, and I regard him as an expert on the units. And so he's going to show us a couple of exercises on each one. And Mike, I'll let you go for it.
And there are people way more expert than me, but I think I can handle showing us some demonstrations here. So what you have here are a couple of wall pulleys, a speed pulley, and then the lat pull down. And I'll just, really with pulleys, you're only limited by your imagination on what you can do with the pulley system. You can be creative and multi-directional, multi-height, but I'm going to just show you some basics. I think it would be also the first thing to start with is how easy it is to adjust the pulley system. And Mardig has really listened to his clients here in terms of making adjustments easy. So the beauty of this pulley system is that you can adjust height fairly simply. The bottom you just unloosen, and then this will just carry to the height that you think you want it. Lock that in. And then you lock this down so that the weights don't clang.
This is a little trick to stop the weights from coming down on each other. That's pretty cool.
Clanking weights can give you some demerits in the clinic. This exercise that I'm going to demonstrate now, imagine that there's an aid that's going to help the patient get into this. So I'm just going to do it in a little clunky way. This is going to be to assist with possibly hip flexion and extension. Active assist, hip flexion, a little bit of strength in mobility, endurance in hip extension, and some balance. And I'm going to test my balance getting into this strap.
I'm going to help you with that.
Okay, you're good. Okay, this bar is really sturdy, so this is something that the patient can actually grab onto.
And you've just looped that ankle strap around.
Yep.
Just where the ball of your foot is, basically.
Yep. And so the pulley is going to help assist the hip into flexion, and then the exercise is to go down and back. And we usually give a little step so that you don't load up that affected hip side. And that's one exercise you can do. So if I could have the banana strap, which I think is, yep. So it's also really quick to change. So we just did a hip exercise, and now we're going to do a knee exercise. This strap is pretty versatile also. You could use this also for the knee exercise, but I just want to show the banana strap. These come in different sizes and can be used for the smaller the size, the smaller the body part, and vice versa. But for the knee exercise, we're going to do a little quad set, for lack of a better word for it. Again, an easy adjustment. This will go behind the knee. You have to edit out my lack of flexibility. And in this case, you allow the knee to bend, and then they tighten this quad up as much as they can. So it's an assisted flexion and then an active extension of the knee. The other beauty of these stacks is the increments can go up by in increments of actually half pounds.
Yeah.
Right? So the stacks are 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, but there's also additions you can go if you need a lighter load than that.
Yeah, so what Mike's talking about are these weights. So they're slotted, so they go right over the top of the tube. So where majority of the stack is in 2-pound increments, this gives you the flexibility to add a 1/2 pound in there as well.
And we've always thought of exercise as dosing like you would medicine. So these little half-pound stacks could be really important. A traditional stack, it could be 5 or even 10 pounds in difference of a stack, a traditional gym stack. And sometimes you just can't get that right weight that is the right load for the patient. Okay, so in this, I'm going to demonstrate a shoulder exercise, and this could help facilitate shoulder flexion. So this is assisted shoulder flexion, and then there's an active extension to the hip. If a person's sitting down, as you can imagine, then they could get more flexion. They could also get that in more advanced patients that really want to get that end range, that they could, with some stability, they could come from here, and this could help with extension of the shoulder. Now, before I get to the speed pulley, I want to show one thing here. And that's that you can just adjust this really quickly so I don't. So you get a nice smooth motion, but if you wanted to increase speed with this, you're going to get a bounce. And there are some times, especially with athletes, that you're going to want to increase speed with the same load and not bounce. And that's the beauty of a speed pulley. In this case, I'm just going to do some rowing. It's okay here. And so you can see here, this is a smooth motion. You can see that the stack's not moving very much. But if I wanted to increase speed, I can't even increase the speed fast enough to get a bounce on the rope. And that's one of the beauties of the speed pulley. Of course, if you've got an athlete that needs like high velocity movements like tennis or baseball or golf, then there are attachments you could put onto this and actually simulate those motions and not get any bounce in the rope. Can I have that larger strap? Trade you. The other beauty of a speed pulley is because you can get more length on the rope, you can do simulated and even really high speed leg work. Again, easy to adjust. So they could do resisted work here. Easy. You could do a back pedal. And again, you could go extend it a lot further. And all I'm showing you really are some basic things that adjustments and stuff that can be done in the pulleys. And I'll say it again, you're only limited by your creativity. The last thing I'll show you is the lat pull. This can be used as a traditional lat pull. Most of you are going to be aware of when you're in the gym. All those attachments exist. But what the beauty of this, especially we call this deloading frame, is for patients that have pain with weight bearing of the hip, knee, or ankle, and or back pain. This little device can help deload the limb or the back so that they could actually perform more movement with less pain. Now we would dose this, so we would know exactly how much unloading we would need to do for the patient. And then they could do a squat, which could be for the low back, it could be for the knee, it could be for the hip, or it could be for the ankle. Same activity, different purpose. And where they might not be able to do even 5 squats, you could have them be doing 3 sets of 30 squats if this unloading is at the right level. This little device makes adjusting really easy. Another nice innovation of Carden.
Why didn't you tell them the story behind that?
the story behind this, and it wasn't mine, it was, I think, probably Mike's, is that this little device actually helps secure the tables to the wooden frame on delivery. And then Mike had the idea that, or someone in our company did, that this would also be a much easier way to slide the rope. And we showed this to Marty how we were using it, and then he just beveled out the circle here so that it would be a smooth instead of rough, and so we didn't go through as many ropes that way. So the other thing that this can be used for, that we use for the spine or the shoulder, is we use this triangle pull down. And we can adjust the load. And they can do all kinds of stuff with the traditional lat pull and these different attachments. I probably should let me pull in the bench in, yeah. And I'll show the versatility of the shoulder bench. This bench itself has multiple uses. We're going to use it for shoulder internal and external rotation, but this can be used as stability for a rowing activity. This easily slides up also to sit on and slides back down. And these are easily adjusted. It's a fairly lightweight bench. So the beauty of this system, and we would train all of our aides on how to set up the equipment, is that if a person has limited external rotation, you could block. And so without changing position,
yeah.
This is easily adjustable for the various in shoulder height, but without changing position, you can do an internal rotation, and then by simply moving the pulley rope, and now you're doing external rotation with the patient not even have to get off the bench.
Awesome.
So again, just some basic things that can be done using the set of 4 pulleys that clearly don't take up enough space. All of these can be mounted onto, a training stand, so that you could use floor space instead of wall space, or a combination of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mike, you had mentioned this is also height adjustable, and also the angle of this is adjustable as well. That's just to demonstrate that.
Yep. Yep, could also be a handy attachment. We call this the T-bar. This can be used to help with the multitude of exercises. All right, so this can just go on easily. Just lines up with one of the holes, snaps into place. And you can use this as just a stability bar to do traditional balance activity. If they can't quite hold their balance, they just need something to hold on to. They could also do exercise here. If you can see that if I had, pulleys behind me and have something just to support their body in more of a chest exercise. But it is a handy little piece of equipment that we have in all of our clinics, or had in all of our clinics. So this is called the multi-angle bench. This is another one of our staple benches in the clinic that has really multiple uses. This is a nice little attachment that can come on and off easily if you wanted to clamp down the legs. One thing that we use this for is your traditional your traditional, Y's and T exercise is very simple. Easy to get on and off of. We also use this if we want to do more open chain, high volume exercise in knee flexion and extension. One thing I want to point out here is that this pulley is going to swivel, which can allow patients side by side to be using pulleys that are kind of close together but still exercising further apart. This is just one exercise we would do for assisted knee extension and then knee flexion, high volume.
So this one, you've just taken the ankle strap, wrapped it around your ankle,
Yep.
and then hooked it up.
And again, just to demonstrate, if someone wanted to do it fast, they'd get a bounce. And if they're doing it so fast they get a bounce, then you might choose to use the speed pulley instead, and the bounce will be eliminated, and they can really increase speed. Mostly needed for athletes that are going to return to sport, but not always. Some injured workers need high speed, changes in speed. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for the demo. That was fun. And it's all in an effort to just demonstrate the versatility of each piece, the unique differences of each piece, and the different exercises that can be performed on it.